Oh, what a week, huh? Captain, it's Wednesday.
What a funny meme. It's hot. I'm tired. My legs hurts. Let's start. Short video today. As of July 11th, the Tuesday before White Pill Wednesday, the silver price is $23.19, whereas the gold price is $1,900.36. Once again, I have to state this. This is not financial advice. If you purchase any of these things that I am about to recommend, your mom is gonna key your car. Bitcoin price has somewhat recovered from what it was before. I was looking at it when it was down here. I was sad. It jumped back up to $30,519. Like I said, I'm tired. Another thing that I was looking at, Twinkie Hostess is roughly about $25. I bought a couple of these a little bit ago, which I think it's fantastic. It's not slow investment, great over many metric. Look at all these metrics. The line just keeps going up. That's all lines do when you keep pumping money into the boy, howdy do I love the federal government. But just because I don't like the federal government, I'm going to talk about this from Timcast News. Go away. Kansas ordered to stop changing gender markers on driver's licenses. These small steps that states are taking is great. Pushing back against federal government, federal company. Same. It's run like a company. It's run with the companies. Whatever. A judge from Hannah Claire Brimelow. A judge has ordered Kansas to stop altering the gender markers of driver's licenses issued to people who identify as transgender. Kansas officials have been divided over the government's recognition of alternative gender identities. Attorney General Chris Kobach sued members of Governor Laura Kelly's administration last week in response to Kelly's public announcement that the state's Department of Motor Vehicles would continue altering driver's licenses to accommodate transgender identifying people's preferences. Kansas residents have been able to change their gender marker to reflect their gender preferences on their license for the last 4 years. Kansas legally defined gender as an individual's sex at birth in May as part of legislation known as the Women's Bill of Rights. The Republican-led legislature overrode Kelly's veto, and the law took effect at the start of July. In effect, it bars transgender and non-binary people from accessing a broad range of single-sex places and services, including specifically prisons, domestic violence shelters, rape crisis centers, locker rooms, restrooms, and other areas where biology, safety, or privacy are implicated, reported the Kansas City Star after the policy passed by the legislature. Public facilities and agencies serving specifically men or women will be required to limit those services based on sex. If an agency serves someone or allows them to use a space that aligns with the gender identity, but conflicts with their sex assigned at birth, that policy or agency would be in violation of this new law. Yeah, no, duh, that's what laws are, you idiot. Some people complained, but, yeah, no. Good thing. Good stuff. Doing great. Hey, Sound of Freedom. I am illiterate. Man who inspired Sound of Freedom responds to critics calling the film QAnon from Christopher Bertman. Tim Ballard, the focal point of the independent film Sound of Freedom, hits back at critics, panning the movie as a QAnon film. Sound of Freedom is inspired by Ballard's experience rescuing trafficked children through Operation Underground Railroad, which Ballard founded in 2013. The film depicts his previous work with the Department of Homeland Security on the International Crimes Against Children Task Force, ICAC, and a subsequent 2014 sting operation with Operation Underground Railroad in Colombia after leaving the Department of Homeland Security. Ballard formed Operation Underground Railroad out of frustration with the DHS's efforts to rescue trafficked children in foreign nations. Ballard responded to a critic during a Monday appearance on Fox & Friends. Host Brian Kilmeade played a clip from a Friday CNN segment in which author Mike Rothschild referred to the film's creation as a result of a moral panic. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear, Rothschild said. It was something like Sound of Freedom. It specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard or people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. I think of the children that are really depicted in the film. I know what happened to them, Ballard said. Those children were the subjects of child rape videos. Those children were being sold for sex. Ballard noted, in total, over 120 children are rescued from traffickers in this film. These are real kids. I see them. I'm still friends with them, he continued. It's embarrassing and frankly grotesque for this guy who knows nothing to start throwing out terms like QAnon, connecting it to a real story. What are they thinking about? I'm gonna come back to this in a second. Sound of Freedom, here on Rotten Tomatoes, 78% on the tomato meter from the critics, which is good to see because normally critics would be panning this and hating this because they're either pedophiles themselves or close enough to pedophiles that it's concerning. Whereas the audience score, 99% rotten, or 99% cool, 99% I forget. They always change how this goes. I saw it myself, and absolutely, you need to go see it. Me and my buddy were tonight, but the theater that we went to look at was completely packed but for one seat. And I've already seen it once. It's an incredible movie. It really is the most influential movie, I think, of our decade. 100% go see it. 9 out of 10. I would have given it higher if you got that cathartic release of violent death of the pedophiles at the end of the movie. But you don't. So, there are child actors, and they're incredible. They do really good. The first little kid that you see, Miguel, he's fantastic. He's really good. And I hope that this movie goes on to inspire not just more movies like it on account of, where is the box office? The box office as of today, $41.7 million release. It beat out Indiana Jones, and I'm just incredibly excited to see what more is going to come from Angel Studios and this whole movement. One of the things that I have been very interesting, that has been very interesting for me to see is, coming off of Reddit here, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brain worms. And the people who are objecting to this incredible movie, they're pedophiles. Alright, they're pedophiles and they're scared of getting found out. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna, play, well, allegedly, no, straight up, they pedos. They like touching kids. And ain't nobody better at it than Reddit here. Let me see if we can find one or two Reddit comments. It's got Cavazel in it. There's no way it's good. His prospects are slim. Cavazel is a QAnon fanatic and homie's like out there. When he's promoted by Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool, I think this is all I need to know about the film. If we are calling this schlock propaganda film, it's trash. What? You didn't finish your parentheses, you idiot. Bad movie, bad actor, bad writing. QAnon supporters don't have brain cells, so of course it's their blockbuster. How's the story of QAnon involved? There's barely any Christian undertones in the movie, but one line, and there's no mention of any political figures. There's many hundreds of busts over the years like this. Crazy how talking in any conversation about sex trafficking gets pushed down because of right-wing nuts. Here's the white pill coming out of an insane headline like this. If our enemies are so dedicated to promoting child trafficking, we are clearly the right guys. We're gonna win because God's children are not for sale. Idaho news. Crews contain 1,300-acre fire south of Boise. This matters a lot to me because I live near there. Boise, Idaho. Firefighters are on the scene of a 650-acre fire south of Boise. Crews around the area responded to Southdom Fire, 12 miles south of the Boise airport, around 10 a.m. There have been no road closures or structures threatened. The Bureau of Land Management, Idaho Fire, USFS, and the Kuna and Orchard Combat Training Center responded. BLM brought 3 overhead, 3 engines, 1 water tender, 2 dozers, 2 seats, 1 air attack, 1 air tanker. They brought a lot of hardware, and they contained it. Good job, guys. Proud of you. Doing great stuff. Speaking of kind of rural stuff, corn condition rebounds to 55% good/excellent. In Monday's crop progress report, corn condition improved 4%, while soybeans climbed 1%. Corn, as of July 9th, 22% of corn in the top 18 growing states is silking, slightly ahead of the 5-year average of 21%. Corn has reached dough stage across 3% of the country. That's 1% ahead of both the 5-year average and progress in the 2022 season to this point. According to the USDA, 14% of corn is rated poor or very poor, a 1% of improvement from the previous week. USDA says 31% of corn is in fair condition. Corn rated good / excellent rebounded 4% from the prior week to 55%. Soybeans, I'm going to skip you because I'm bigoted. Spring wheat. The report says 72% of spring wheat is headed in the top 6 growing states. This is up from 51% of the previous week and ahead of the 67% 5-year average. The USDA says spring wheat condition got worse with 16% rated poor / very poor. The week prior, just 11% of the U.S. spring wheat received that rating. The winter wheat, at 46% complete, winter wheat harvest is creeping towards a halfway mark, still lagging behind the 5-year average of 59%. At this time in the 2022 growing season, winter wheat harvest was 62% complete. Okay, so corn's doing good, wheat's, not saying enough. Final one before I gotta start editing and go to bed, because I want to get up early for the gym. NASA awards crossover spacesuit task orders to Axiom and Collins. Oh, look at that. Ain't that neat? NASA awarded 2 task orders to 2 companies already working on spacesuits for the International Space Station and Artemis missions to develop alternative versions of the suits. NASA announced July 10th that it issued task orders valued at $5 million each to Axiom Space and Collins Aerospace to begin design work on alternative versions of their suits already in development. Axiom's task force begins work on a version of its suit for the ISS, while Collins will begin design of a suit intended for moonwalks. NASA awarded contracts to the 2 companies in June 2022 to support development of new Artemis and ISS spacesuits. NASA would then acquire spacesuit services rather than the suits themselves, effectively renting them versus owning them, which hopefully should drive down the price. Yeah, that's kind of all I got. It's getting pretty close to my bedtime. I gotta go to bed pretty early because I I try to get up at 4:30 to hit the gym. Before anybody's there. Get a quick bench. Because where I am right now, if I try to go bench after work, it's completely packed and it sucks. But I mean, hey, there could be worse problems. People are going to the gym. They're losing weight. There's this one guy that I see. It's not me. Who, fat guy, and he shows up very consistently, and he's down quite a few pounds. Proud of him. Should go talk to him. Tell him he's doing a good job. Anyway, you know who else is doing a good job? You are. And you can be doing an even better job if you focus on those small goals that you have for the day. That's my dad advice. Thank you for watching White Pill Wednesday. Bye.
And we say bye-bye.